Welcome to Brea Talks, an insider's look into topics that affect your experiences in the city of Brea. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. So now, we invite you to listen in as Brea Talks.
Hello and welcome. I'm Andrea Carvajal, and today, Brea Talks, the general plan and the specific plan. I have two guests with me today. Welcome Brea's new city planner, Maribeth Tinio, and Brea's senior planner, Jessica Newton. Ladies, thank you both so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here today.
Thank you.
Of course. So Jessica, you've been on the show before. This isn't your first rodeo, but can you please remind everyone a little bit about what you do?
Yes, I'm glad to be back. I've been working here in Brea for a little over 3 years. I've had 10 years of city planning experience. And I currently, in my senior planner position, manage and oversee current as well as long-range planning projects.
That's great. And Maribeth, this may be your first time on Brea Talks, but it's not your first time working for Brea.
It is not. Really, I've worked in local government for about 25 years and in the planning field for 22 of those years. I actually had my planning career start here in Brea back in 2003 as a planning intern. I left the city just right before COVID, sadly, but worked in various jurisdictions in Orange County and the Inland Empire. And now I'm back. I enjoyed this community so much at my time working here that I moved to the city in 2008 and became a resident. Yay. Started off living in the downtown and then kind of moved my way up Birch Street. And now I'm happy to say I'm a proud Glenbrook resident.
Well, we're so happy to have you back here in the city. Let's get into it. The general plan. We've heard the term, but what is it exactly?
So a general plan is a blueprint for the future physical and economic development of a city. It includes community priorities, goals, and implementation. State law requires every city and county to adopt a comprehensive long-term general plan to guide physical development and update it every 15 to 20 years. The requirement for general plans date back to as early as the late 1920s. And in the 1970s and later the 1990s, state law was updated to confirm general plans were the policy document to guide local land use and future growth.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up history. So regarding the history of the general plan, this isn't a new thing to Brea. When was the last time Brea updated its general plan?
Yeah, so Brea has a rich history of visioning and planning for the future. Their first general plan dates back to the 1960s. And during that time, it included its first zoning ordinance, which says what type of land uses should go where. And it had the master plan for streets and the water system. Since then, Brea has always prioritized these types of vision documents and planning for the future, including things like the Brea Project in 1989, which was a community-led recommendation vision document, and then more recently, the Brea Envisions Community Strategic Plan in 2017, which we'll touch on a little bit more later. In regards to our general plan now, the city last updated it in 2003. With the projections going out into 2020. And look at that, we're here now. Some elements have been amended along the way from time to time, but a full update hasn't occurred since then.
That is a long time. And kind of your timeline here at Brea, right? You interned in 2003 and you left right before COVID.
That's right. I mean, I came back just for this. Isn't that amazing?
So, Jessica, what can one find in a general plan?
So state law requires general plans to address specific elements. These elements are land use, circulation, housing, conservation, open space, noise, and safety. And in addition to mandatory elements, there are optional ones as well to address local priorities, one being economic development. The current endeavor to update the general plan will include an economic development element, recognizing the importance of a strong economy. Think of each element like a puzzle piece. They have individual goals and priorities, but fit together to create one big picture and complement each other.
So that's a lot. That seems like a huge undertaking. How do you even begin something like that? Where do you start, Maribeth?
Yeah, so you're correct. General plans are no easy feat, and they're typically multi-year efforts, and it starts with big ideas and big vision. This recent update really started 2016, 2017 with the Brea Envisions Community Strategic Plan. That included a multi-layered outreach and education campaign asking questions like, what's your vision for Brea's future? What needs enhancing? How do we keep Brea healthy? And why do Breans love Brea? That document served as the guiding values for basically the projects following that, including this effort. Following that, the city embarked on the 2020 Connecting the Core Active Transportation Plan, which had another robust community outreach effort and focused on pedestrian and biking to get the community to Brea's core, which is basically the main economic and activity hub for the city and where we are today.
Yes. And to jump in, recent endeavors have kicked off again beginning in 2024, in which we hosted a open house focusing on visions and values, and also released a community-wide survey to gather input. And then we've been involved with stakeholder engagement, so those with interests in the city as well as within the downtown core area. We have a steering committee and have had subsequent meetings. And we've had a pop-up event at a recent Public Works Department open house. And we've been doing robust engagement and social media notifications.
You guys are doing a lot to bring in the community involved in this, and that's really awesome. Okay, so what's next regarding the general plan? Where do we go from here?
So what's next? One of the primary goals of the document is to thoughtfully guide future growth, recognizing that our population will only continue to increase. As part of the community development element, we will be updating the land use designations. The land use designations provide a certain character for a property, accomplished with density restrictions. This plan focuses new development within the Brea Core Specific Plan area, recognizing it is the main economic and activity hub for the city, with the goal of preserving the hillsides and protecting existing single-family neighborhoods.
So I'm glad you brought up the Brea Core Specific Plan area. So let's shift gears a little bit here. Talk to me about this other type of plan, the Brea Core Specific Plan. What is it? How did you come up with it?
Yeah, definitely. The Brea Core Specific Plan is the implementation piece of the general plan effort, with the focus, as mentioned previously, to focus on guiding development within the core area. This boundary is defined as the area between Berry Street on the west, Lambert Road on the north, the 57 freeway on the east, plus the Brea Plaza Mercury properties, and properties abutting Imperial Highway to the south. The specific plan is the zoning piece that implements the general plan land use designations. And zoning provides a set of rules, how close, how tall, how big. And the specific plan will focus on mixed-use, pedestrian-oriented development, allowing for both horizontal and vertical integration of compatible residential and commercial uses. It will also outline strategies to improve multimodal connectivity throughout the core area.
And when does that process begin?
It actually began back in 2017. So if you think about the general plan and this whole effort like building blocks, that's really what it is. The general plan kind of serves as the foundation for that building block. And then we layer on pieces. So the effort really started back in 2017, starting with Brea Envisions and the Connecting the Core Active Transportation Plan. And those pieces basically feed into the specific plan. So through both of those efforts and now this effort, community outreach has kind of occurred along the way. So we're well in it and have been in it for the last few years.
Okay, I love that. So if you haven't heard, now you know. So what is next for the Brea Core Specific Plan, Jessica?
What's next? Well, we're currently working to finalize the specific plan document as well as respond to public comments. The goal is to take the specific plan together with the general plan for adoption. If they're not presented together, the specific plan as well as subsequent zoning implementation will follow soon after, before the end of 2026.
Okay, so very close, guys. This has been a long time coming. So what's the timeline of both of these, the general plan and specific plan, Maribeth?
Great question. The timeline really depends on a number of things. With the draft documents being out for the community to review, timeline kind of depends on what types of comments we receive and how long it takes to respond to those types of comments. But we're aiming to present the general plan to the council in late spring, early summer 2026 for adoption.
And lastly, what can the community do to get more involved, Jessica?
Great question. We definitely want more engagement, more involvement. The city is hosting a community open house next Thursday, March 12, 2026, between 5:30 and 7:30 in community rooms A and B here at the Civic Center. We welcome the community members to come, learn more, ask questions, and even leave in-person comments. The draft documents for the general plan, specific plan, and environmental documents are up online at brea.generalplan.org. So in the meantime, we invite the community to access those documents and then to continue to look for updates on the website. We even have a subscribe now button, so please subscribe now and you'll receive updates.
Yes, go to the Notify Me on the city website, and they have till March 30th, 2026 to send in their comments as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, that is so much great information. Thank you both so much for coming on the podcast. It's crazy to think that these updates happening right now are going to shape what the city could look like over the next quarter century. So thank you both so much for coming on and for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
That's it for this episode of Brea Talks. This episode and all episodes of Brea Talks can be heard wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on Brea TV and on our Brea TV app. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening in as Brea Talks.